Hi, and welcome to Paper Route Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today we're going to be working with sketch number 4, take 2, from the Sketches for 6x6 Paper Pads one-page sketches class with Alison Davis for Scrapbook Generations. Okay, so I already completed a layout with sketch 4, and this is it. It was essentially a 3x3 grid of 2x2 squares on a 12x12 layout. And this is pretty close to what the sketch looks like. And I had imagined it in a second way. I had gotten a layout all ready to go, and then we had a little bit of a family thing. So I went to deal with that, and family always comes first, right? I think everybody can agree to that. So I haven't been scrapbooking for probably about a week, which is fine. But now that I'm back to it, I have this like partially finished layout on my desk that I just wanted to pop on and finish up and show you guys how I did it a little bit differently, how I took the sketch and changed it up a little bit. So some ways that I thought about changing it up but didn't was to, instead of using squares, to use 2-inch circles. Another thing I thought about was to use 2-inch hearts. Might have been cute instead of the squares shape. And I decided, instead of using a whole like a shapes, instead I wanted to do a 1 4x4 photo. So instead of doing a 3x3 grid, I'm just going to use this 6x6 sheet by itself and put a photo on it. So that's kind of my thought where I'm going with that. And I chose this background. I again went to my craft cardstock and picked this one from Coordinations. I don't know about you guys, but when this stuff was popular, I think I bought all the things because I still have a ton of it. So anyways, this one is Craft Core Shattered, Coordinations Color Core Cardstock by Tim Holtz. And there's no date on it or anything, but it's old because I bought it at the scrapbook store here in Red Deer. We haven't had a scrapbook store in a very long time. So that's that. So all I did in advance was I went looking for this photo because I already had my baseball stuff out. So I'm still working with the same paper pad as I did the other layout with. Designer paper pad MVP by We Are Memory Keepers. And it's very old. It is no longer in print, but it's this kind of like grungy basic gray style. And so there's that. And then I pulled this paper, this For the Love of the Game paper, and I wanted to like tuck my photo in and use this as my title. And so I did that. I like took an X-Acto knife and cut it and tucked it in, but it wasn't enough. So I went back to the paper pad and found the other sheet of this, which I had already cut out of because I had used it for this square, and I already had also punched some circles from it for a different layout from a long time ago. And then I just cut this part out of it and then popped it up on some foam. I don't know if you can see that. No, not really. Anyway, it's popped up on foam, and now my photo is kind of tucked behind this popped up title. So from there, I need to clean my photo, but I don't know where my chamois is. Okay, so from there I wanted to make use of the scraps from the papers I used to cut all of those squares for the last one. So I don't know if I'll use all of them, but my idea is to kind of like tuck, so if I tuck like a dark blue over here, I also want to tuck a dark blue over here so that it's like balanced color-wise. Does that make sense? Okay, so I think I'm going to put some glue on this. Oh, see, that's where my picture is tucked in through my X-Acto knife cut that I didn't have to cut. Don't you hate it when your tape gets stuck to the roller? That's annoying. Okay. There we go. I probably need to clean my roller. Anyway, so there we go. And I'm just gonna, where is my lovely T-square? Let's see, where are we at here? So I want it to be kind of center-ish, but then also centered this way. And it doesn't have to be exactly centered, but I want it to look centered. So if this is a few centimeters off or whatever, that's okay. I just kind of like it, first of all, to be straight, and without sticking my head in the camera, it's not going to be straight. So I'm using the ruler. I kind of have to stand over it like to get it straight. So that would show you my wild hair. I had a wild day at work. It has been quite the adventure, and I wore my hair down today, which I should know better anyways, but then it was up and then it was down and then it was up. I had a really bad headache yesterday, so I wanted to wear my hair down, but my job really does call for my hair to be up. I have some little buds who like to pull hair, and leaving my hair down just shouldn't be an option. I try. Okay, so then if I put this blue over here, and I don't want it to like line up exactly, I want it to kind of be, as Janet at RTS would say, cattywampus. I love that. I love all her words. She cracks me up. If you have not checked out her channel, you should. I will link it down below. And if you like what you see on her YouTube channel, you really should pay for her Patreon. She went over to Patreon just because she didn't like the publicity of YouTube where anybody could watch, anybody could criticize. She thought it would be a little bit more friendly of an environment to be on a crafty platform and have only people who really want to be there and are willing to like pay to be there. And so she went to Patreon, and at first I was like, do I want to pay Patreon to... And then I missed seeing her videos so much that I was like, yep, I think I do want to be on Patreon. So I pay the $1 a month to... It's actually, in Canadian, it's $1.50. But I think it works out to like less than 20 bucks a year. So I'm like, yeah, it's definitely worth it. And she puts out so much content that, man, I tell ya, it's a whole lot of goodness for less than 20 bucks a month. And if you're in the States, it's only $1 a month. So very, very much worth the time, the money. I enjoy it anyways. But of course, because I want to tuck it under because it's bigger and I don't want to cut it. Because I'm silly like that. Let's pull it up again. And this is just, sorry, I probably could have done some of this off camera, but like I said, it was just kind of sitting on my desk, and this is the first time I've actually sat down at my desk since, well, today's Tuesday, so yeah, since last Tuesday, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. It's just been one of those times. And I was hoping to be on here on Monday, yesterday, but like I said before, I had a brutal migraine and missed work and didn't make my family supper. And apparently, I didn't know this, but I'm the only one who can do the dishes because I came home from work today and did everybody's dishes from yesterday. Yeah, I'm really cool like that. Do you guys have mad skills that no one else seems to have in your family too? Because that's pretty tricky. And I know my boys have the skill of doing the dishes, but the skill that they don't have is if I'm not standing over them saying, you should do the dishes. Doesn't happen. It's not an independent thought. And I love when they go out to live on their own. Like my older boys that now live independently, they're always like, I'm sorry for giving you such a hard time about doing the dishes twice a week. Now I have to do them every day. I'm like, oh yes, my, are you going to be okay? And then my one middle boy, he went to SAIT, and his first year at SAIT, he lived in res. He was like, these guys are disgusting. I don't even think they know how to clean the bathroom. It's so gross. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Good thing you had one of those terrible moms that made you do all the things that nobody else's mom made them do, like clean the bathroom. And he laughed because he knew that he had said those very words to me at some point. Nobody else's mom makes them do this before they can go out with their friends. Because I was evil. So, funny, but they do grow up and they do appreciate you later. So I'm still waiting for that with my youngest. He's not there yet, but he's getting close. He's supposed to move out in September. And he's only 17, which is a little scary for me, but that's what happens when they graduate young, I guess. So these pennants are the only, I think I have other ones that are kind of directional. Like I couldn't put I could put them this way, but it has writing on it. So I want it to go this way. And again, I'm lifting and moving things because I'm crazy like that. There we go. It's probably crooked. Bad actually. Okay. Not too terribly bad. There we go. Okay, and what else was I going to tell you guys about? Oh yeah, I am going to do this week's sketch number 5 for this class 2, but I don't know if I'll get to it before the weekend. I guess we'll have to see. And I do have some videos that I could have posted over the weekend when I was away, but like I said, we were dealing with a family matter and it just wasn't on my radar. My boy needed me, so that's where I was, paying attention to him. Isn't it tragic? Like you raise these kids and you think, like, my job is done, they're happy and healthy and adults, and you know, they're finished university and they're employed and they're wonderful, and then some kind of tragedy strikes and they need you. And you go and you're like, they just look like your little babies again, because you don't like to see your kids hurting. I don't think it'll matter if they are 20 or 40 or whatever. It's hard to watch your kids hurt. But he will be okay. He himself is safe and healthy and strong. He just lost a very dear friend, and it's hard in your 20s when that happens, because I think they believe, I know I did, well, not by my 20s, I learned my lesson by then, but I know that I believed I was invincible until I didn't, until tragedy struck in my life. So I know how much that hurts and how scary it is and how it changes your perspective, and yeah, pretty heart-wrenching to watch your kids hurt, no matter how big they are, no matter how grown up they think they are. And I do love that he still wanted his mom. He lives with his girlfriend, but she was working and couldn't get people to cover her shifts. She works at a hospital, and she was working nights, so it's a tough one to get people to cover. especially when the weather's nice. So it was all good. We hung out. He's healing. Okay, so my title is For the Love of the Game. Here is my journaling. And this is a little obsession of mine. I'm sure you'll see lots of layouts like this if you keep following me. I have a little obsession with roadside attractions. And I live on the prairies, and they're kind of a big thing around here. So every little town has one, I feel like, and they just crack me up. This is Canada's largest baseball glove, in case you wanted to know. And it is located in Heisler, Alberta. So it says, even though the town of Heisler's logo is a German guy in lederhosen hoisting a beer mug, the town itself is proudest of its love of baseball. So in June 2007, a local artist built Canada's largest baseball glove next to the town's baseball diamond. The glove is 13.5 feet high, 7.5 feet wide. And on a little road trip to visit some of Alberta's roadside attractions, my friend Toby and I stopped to see this one. So a few years back, my friend Toby and I kind of took a little road trip together and stopped. She indulged me, and we stopped and saw a bunch of roadside attractions, and I indulged her, and we stopped and ate ice cream. I'm one of those weird people that doesn't really care for ice cream, but she loves ice cream. And we also went to some scrapbooking stores and did some shopping. And then we drove out to my mom's house, who didn't live here at the time. She lived up in the wild and crazy town of Whitecourt, Alberta. And so we drove up there, and we had some scrappy weekend retreat time. My mom used to have a huge craft room that housed all of us, and we used to hang out there and have some nice weekends away from our kiddos and all our responsibilities. And we would craft. It was fun. And hopefully we can do all that kind of stuff again. She actually hosted one in her living room earlier this year when things were semi-opened around here. And we felt like it was still safe. But then things closed up again, and we haven't been able to do it since. But yeah, so this is one of my little obsessions, is to visit these things and take pictures of them. And it kind of all started from empty nest syndrome, if you can believe that, because I had a little bit of a issue when my kids started getting older. My oldest was moving out, and my younger one was graduating soon, and my little one was getting to be a tween, and he didn't like me taking his picture. And I was like, what am I going to take pictures of if I don't have children to take pictures of? And so I started going around and taking pictures of these kind of things. And now I just really like them. I'm not going out of my way to find them anymore, but if we're on a little road trip, we'll stop and check them out. Okay, so that's my journaling on there. And then I'm going to put my date somewhere. So when I printed my journaling, I just printed the date too, and thought, because I wanted it to be on the same paper. I didn't want it to be like white or something, because there's no white on this page. It's all papers from the paper pad. Wow. I was saying Peter Piper today with a student. It was not going well. So maybe paper pad and paper pack are off the table for today. I don't know. Sometimes the things I do in a day, people would laugh. People do laugh. I'm pretty funny. Not on purpose. Okay. Yeah, maybe over there. I like that better. Oh, I took the... Okay, I'm a dork. I took out some basketball stuff because, you know, baseball layout, so obviously. Oh, weirdo. All right, let's see what we got. So I have these again. These are little fabric baseballs, and they're meant to be photo corners, but I'm not going to use them like photo corners. I'm going to use them like embellishments. And is there anything? I'm not going to use that sticker. Is there anything on here I might use? Let's see. Maybe. Okay. How about this? Live life like a 3-1 count. That sounds about right. Okay, I was watching a baseball game the other day and I was super confused because I haven't been watching sports on TV because I think, well, first of all, I don't really enjoy watching sports on TV, but I do occasionally watch with my family. And because I was hanging out with my middle boy, it was him that I think I mostly watched sports with, because I have noticed since he moved out, the rest of my family still watches sports, but I don't know if they watch downstairs. I'm not really sure how this is working out. But anyway, I just haven't been seeing it as much. And he, of course, has a small apartment, and we were watching the baseball game. And I was like, where are the Jays playing? And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, who are they? He's like, well, they're playing the Astros or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but all the advertising stuff, like they were playing Houston, but it wasn't in Houston, you could tell. And I was like, okay, but that is not Houston. And I said, and furthermore, all of the advertising is Canadian, and it's like they're making it look like Toronto, but that's not Rogers Stadium. We've been there a number of times. That's not it. And so we're looking and looking. Finally, I'm like, I have to Google it because it's really bugging me that that this does not look right. And sure enough, they were in, I can't remember where, somewhere just south of the border in New York, Buffalo maybe. And they had rented a stadium there because the restrictions in Canada, especially in Ontario, are still really, really heavy. And so they couldn't play there. And so they rented, I think they said it was like a minor league stadium. Let the guys see. These are super weird. Jolie's Boutique. I don't know why they have gems on them, but I don't know. A little bling's not going to hurt anything. I do think I need some glue dots on these though, because they're not sticky. I think just the, whatchamacallit was sticky. The photo corner bit. So I'll just get some glue dots on there. It's the only thing I know that works on fabric. See, this one's a bit sticky. I don't know. Okay, so we got title, journaling, date, photo, embellishments. This is essentially the idea I had for my second version of this layout here. And it is just, instead of a grid, I just took this grid and made it a block. So instead of a grid design, I did a block design, but inspired by the same sketch. So I hope that you enjoyed my video today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. And if you want to know anything more about Alison's sketchbook, I can link that below. And about her sketches, her free sketches online, I'll link those below as well. You can just hit the show more button under the video description to find those links. And if you're new here, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel and be sure to hit that notification bell so that you'll know every time a new video goes up. Have a great day, everyone.